Musical choices are very important. They need to suit you to make us believe you. Don't be discouraged if you learn 7 songs and none of them work out. That's just how it is.
Okay, go.
Okay, so now that we have wrestled with Zoom for an hour and seem to be have working into the first thing we're going to talk about is contest rep and how to find it, because it's pretty hard to find good contest rep. So yeah, where do we find our contest songs at the moment?
Well, our ballad, we first heard our ballad when Speed of Sound sang it. Yeah, international.
So yeah,
So that was
so international.
And also, I think we find this has happened with a couple of our songs that we don't like the idea of them when we first suggest them, and then we love them.
Is that true? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it happened once upon a time and Next Time I Love.
Yeah.
Because I suggested Next Time I Love, and everyone's like, not sure.
But this is the problem we generally have with songs, is that we will have an idea about repertoire songs, contest songs, and we'll say, oh, we really want to sing this, we'll learn it, and then it just doesn't suit us.
Yeah.
And
True.
Will sort of fade into the background, and it's making those conscious decisions as to what actually works for the quartet, and it's okay to say, no, this doesn't work, scrap it.
Exactly. That happens a lot with us, doesn't it? Like, not just with contest rep also, but with any song. Like, we'll hear someone sing it, or we'll like the idea of a song, and then we'll learn it, and either the arrangement won't work, or it won't work for us, or we just find that it doesn't quite suit us. So yeah,
Or we might discover that it's just really hard to do the rhythm on it.
Yeah.
There's a few like that.
Yeah.
but you can stick with them, because sometimes coaches can fix that.
Slow burns. The slow burns.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
you
nice.
can stick with them until the coach goes, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Give up.
Yeah.
Give up.
Yeah.
It's nice to have songs that you can sort of park. So I think what we've started to do more now is choosing songs and try and keep things on the back burner so that they start to become comfortable, because we recognize that, like, for example, Yes Sir, when we first started singing that, it was a marathon, whereas now it's not so much of a marathon, but there's still plenty to do with it. So bringing on another one on in the background that is a marathon, hopefully by the time we have to sing it for realsies, it won't be.
And there's the other new contest song that we're learning at the moment. We've literally had it on the back burner for several years, and are only now finally kind of practicing it and stuff. So yeah, back burner songs are good.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you have to get rid of a song like Flirty Eyes.
Oh, I love Flirty Eyes. Flirty Eyes.
No.
So this is the other thing. Sometimes one person or two people in the quartet will just not like a song.
Mainly varied. Let's do it.
Right. Okay, hold the phone, okay? In my defence, we had sung that song for 97 years, okay? And it got to the point where it hurt me a little bit to sing it, actually. I think it's a good point to mention that actually you probably will go through a million songs before you find the right one, because I've lost count of the amount of songs that we've learned and then not worked.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite important that although you like a song and you think it's going to work, it's very possible that you could learn it and it doesn't work for you, it doesn't suit you, whatever. And I think that's, it's unfortunately it's an okay thing, because it does happen.
Jem, you were saying about how there was a time literally just before contest when we were coached on a song, and the coach said that they didn't think it was a good vehicle for us.
Yeah. So my point around that was just that sometimes you have to stick with your gut instinct on a song, and once you've learned it, and if it works for the quartet, sometimes there will come a coach that says, I don't think you're ready to sing this song, or I don't think this song suits you. But if you feel that song, then ultimately you're going to be able to portray it better, and you should go for that song. Basically, that was my point.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it, in the face of coaching to go with your gut, but you can't always rely on outside influence. You have to be true to yourself as a quartet, and if the song fits what you all feel, and particularly if you've only got 2 weeks before you're going into contest, you probably want to stick with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that goes for like any kind of coaching on a song as well. Like if a coach does something and obviously you do it at the coaching rehearsal, but then you get to your next rehearsal and you're like, that doesn't really stick, or that didn't work. I think it's okay, and you should be, what's the word?
Comfortable.
Yes, thank you. To
A lot of coaches are really open.
drop it.
A lot of coaches are really good with that as well. They'll say, I'll give you lots of stuff and you can decide what to keep.
Yes.
And it's like with songs, if it's not sticking and something's not right, then don't feel like you have to make it work just because you've put in all the effort so far. Sometimes, like, you individually might be really feeling something and you think the rest of the quartet is, and then you find out afterwards that wasn't the case, because it's always really difficult. Everyone's got their own things going on in their own heads during coaching. And so having like a debrief after is super important.
Absolutely.
I think also there's been times when we've all really liked something, but it's just not worked, and we've tried it and then it's dropped eventually because it just didn't work for whatever reason, even though we liked it originally.
After we flogged it a bit.
Sometimes I think that things come to that at the end of their life and they just don't stick around, kind of thing.
Wow, philosophical.
You're welcome.
With songs as well, like often you'll hear a quartet sing a song and you'll be like, oh my god, that song would be amazing for us. It sounds like we, the message really speaks to us. We all love the song, and that quartet sings it really well. And then you'll pick up the arrangement and find that it was arranged for that specific quartet and it's really difficult for you to sing, or I don't know, just for whatever reason it doesn't work for you as a quartet, and that's totally fine, and it can be disappointing, but just find one that does work for you.
You go, Jen.
No, thanks. I think every quartet has their own personality, so it's always difficult to listen to a song that another group are doing and pick it up purely because you like how they sound doing it. So similar to what you said, so it may not work for you in a quartet setting, it might not suit your quartet personality. And often what we found is we picked up a song and we said, we don't think this is working. And then maybe like a year or so down the line, we've picked it back up and we've completely changed it, made it into something that we can call our own. And then it's worked for us.
Quite often I don't necessarily find it easy to choose a song at all. I'm much more of a listening to the ideas that you guys present and then saying whether, well, to be fair, I don't know that there's ever been a song where I've said I really don't like that.
I remember you going through this with, I think it was Once Upon a Time, and I remember
the world goes through it with Once Upon a Time, don't they?
We'd had it for a while, and we'd sung it in, I think, a couple of contests, and I think it was maybe the last time we sang it at International, and it was just us four rehearsal, and you said no, thanks. You said that you couldn't connect with the message that a coach had given us as to what this song was about.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of us went round and said, well, actually, no, this is how I think about it. This is what I go through in my own head to fit the emotions to Once Upon a Time. And then Varian said it, and then Sophie said it, and you eventually went, oh, okay. And you found your own story, and then we sang it and you cried.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember how we got there, but I remember getting there.
Yeah,
So
that
well
was
done
like-
for remembering.
That was like 2 years after we'd been singing it already.
Yeah.
And just that little session of figuring out what that song meant to you, but fitting it into the quartet, completely turned it around.
I also
Yeah.
think sometimes you don't necessarily need to have your own personal message to a song. Like sometimes you can sing someone else's message, and sometimes that even works better. Like I know for me with Next Time I Love, at the start especially, like because we talked about it quite a lot as a quartet, and there were various personal messages that you guys had raised, and some of them I found really evocative and just was able to connect to that much more. Yeah, that's, and we had a chorus session with Sandy Wright recently, and she said that she had she was describing the exact same experience basically within ambience, I think. So yeah. The Queens can do it, so can we. Yeah,
I think it's hard I'm never very good at listening to songs and thinking, wow, that's amazing. I really want to sing that. But quite often when you guys have listened to one and you say, wow, that's amazing, I really want to do that, I listen to it and then I can hear it. But it almost, I'm one of these people where the music kind of washes over me and I enjoy it, but I don't suddenly think, wow, I really want to be singing that song. It doesn't happen like that for me. So I'm grateful to you guys for finding the songs that you think could work, just so that we can have a play with them and see whether they end up working.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because you don't have any resemblance of any kind of tune because you sing baritone?
I mean, it could be something to do with that. Yeah.
It was just a thought that came to my mind.
Yeah. If I can't hear the baritone line, I just don't want to sing the song.
You're like, nah, not for me.
I think it's fair to say, though, that as far as musical choices are concerned, we all find it difficult.
Yeah.
For different reasons. So Varian, you have a great knowledge of songs that have been sung. So I can hear a song, even if we've sung it as a quartet, I can hear a song and go, oh, I really like that, we should sing it. And Varian will be like, Jem, we sang that 5 years ago, or so-and-so sang that at International.
I'm not being funny. Is it not completely okay for me to give her a look and go, are you mental? Because surely she should remember songs that we have sung.
Surely. Although we get confused between different quartets, because quite often you'll talk about a song, Jem, and it's actually Blush that has sung it, or Breakthrough that has sang it.
Yeah.
Or even
true.
Decibels.
That's true.
We're like, no, we definitely haven't sung that one. But
yeah, that's true.
I think we all bring our own strengths to the quartet in terms of musical choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very difficult. Some quartets have one particular member that chooses all of their music, which I think is amazing. We should get a fifth member who can.
I wish I could be that person.
To do that.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to argue it out over every single song.
Just please don't pick it to be me. I can't do it.
With perspective.
I mean, we kind of do have that in a way in HRH, because we can tell her a song that we want to do or we like, and she'll just go,
yeah,
and then we'll have to spend the rest of the decade persuading her
to sign it off instead of 4.
Yes, very true. Because we'll sometimes love a song, all 4 of us, and then we'll say, "What do you think to this?" And she'll be like,
"No."
But funnily enough, that's the same with not just with HRH, but when we're advised to get it checked out by a music judge, and you're like this thinking, please music judge, please don't poo-poo this song, and then they'll come back and they'll say something that kind of says,
I just want to highlight this point, Saz, because I think maybe not everyone realizes that this is a thing. Music judges are basically super helpful in that you can send them a song that you're thinking of singing, whether it's for regional or international, tell them a bit about your quartet and say, do you think this is a suitable contest song? It might be that you haven't heard it sung in contest before, or you have, but you're not sure how it would have scored, or, you know, all of that stuff. They are really generous and happy to basically look over music and let you know whether it would sort of be a good contest vehicle. So yeah.
And that's absolutely something that we do.
We do that all the time.
We don't always. So one of the songs that we're picking up again now, we originally had some feedback that from a music judge who said, you know, that there are these challenges with it, and at the time we were like, yeah, okay, well, with those challenges, we're not going to risk it at the moment. But you know, 2 years later, we're willing to take the risk on it because we love it and we think we can potentially overcome the challenges. So just because a music judge might at one point say it's you know it's not a good vehicle, or you know these are the challenges, don't just completely write it off, particularly if you've paid for it and stuff like that. Keep it in your catalogue. We've got quite an extensive catalogue of songs that we just don't ever sing, but and then you can just come back to it later.
So watch this space as to whether it works out next year.
Yeah. Was that risk worth taking?
We find out.
And then we get on international stage and go flirty eyes.
Yes, please.
If that happens,
that's not happening.
we what's it called? Bottled it at the last minute.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Also,
can
I don't know
balladize
Flirty Eyes.
Flirty Eyes.
So if that happens, I will have learned a song literally overnight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we haven't sang that with you. I feel like we should just sing it with you at some point.
Do you?
Close the deal.
So
An initiation.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt rudely, as I often do.
Go for it.
And basically, there are things that we do to enable us to learn music and then put it down, essentially, because it's not, first of all, none of us are any good at learning sheet music without teach tracks. Like, we rely entirely on teach tracks, basically. And obviously, teach tracks are expensive. So I wanted to kind of put in some teach track hacks or recommendations for, like, if you want to learn a song quickly and not pay like hundreds of pounds for teach tracks. So first of all, it's worth asking your friends if they're willing to, you know, send you some teach tracks for a listen. Obviously, then you can choose to go and buy them afterwards once you're sure about the song. You know, if you just want to have a little listen to them and see what it sounds like. Alternatively, there are a lot of UK teach track makers who... Have I frozen again?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. There are a lot of UK teach track makers who we get in contact with and who make us teach tracks like all the time, who are really affordable, like do really decent teach tracks. So yeah, just wanted to do a little plug.
One of the other things that we were going to mention is the fact that you can obviously get custom arrangements. So if you hear a song that you like, and you hear another quartet do it and they have got an arrangement and you're not necessarily a fan of that arrangement, you can get your own arrangement done. And I think we've got a list, haven't we, of
Yes.
UK arrangers. And obviously there's many arrangers in the Sweet Adeline's world, but we're going to select a few UK arrangers for you.
Well, these are the arrangers that we've used.
Yes,
aren't
yes,
they?
exactly.
Yes.
These are our personal recommendations of
Yes, there are obviously many more, but these are the ones
exactly. Well, I mean, the list I have has ones that we have used and ones that we would like to use in future because they've done amazing arrangements that have been in the top 10 internationally for Forth Valley.
Plug.
Plug.
Musical choices are very important. They need to suit you to make us believe you. Don't be discouraged if you learn 7 songs and none of them work out. That's just how